What's crack and it's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So we're back again for another season preview. Today we're going to take a look at the Tennessee Titans, a team that surprised a lot of people last year behind the leadership, the resurgence of Ryan Tannehill. Now he is established as their franchise quarterback. What will he do with the keys to the castle, so to speak? But before we get into that, go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the content. It really helps the channel out a ton. Go ahead and share this video as well. It's always much appreciated, much obliged. Let's help the channel grow. That way I can continue to make banger contents, because it does take a lot of time to, do the research, do some of the Photoshop with the templates and such. So I'm just saying, help a brother out. But plenty of stuff coming to the channel, plenty of videos. We're gonna have a video a day basically covering this whole season preview series, as well as a mock draft to kind of wrap this all up based on those projections. I will do a playoff predictors video as well after all this is based on those standings, and just kind of give you my thoughts here. Remember, this is all just my opinion. Opinions are subject to change, so you find you have a different opinion, a different view on something, leave a comment in the section below and just let's duke it out. Civil discourse. I'm not afraid to admit if I'm wrong. Always learning. That's how we all should be. But let's go ahead and let's dive into this. And we're first going to take a look at the roster, then we're going to look at the schedule, and then I'll give you my projected starters and my projected I guess my projection on how I think they're going to do next year. So, looking at the squad, before we get to the quarterback situation, let's take a look at his playmakers, because this playmaker group I definitely think can be improved on. Corey Davis hasn't really reached his true potential. He isn't a true separator, at least what it looks like. It looks like he's just really a possession receiver at best. But AJ Brown is a monster. He was one of my favorite wide receivers in the 2019 draft. I had him as my number one wide receiver at one point. I think I bumped him down to 2. But the guy is just phenomenal. You just gotta love it. Adam Humphries hasn't really done well, despite all the money they gave him in his slot role. Actually, I like what I saw from Khalif Raymond in the playoffs. But I mean, maybe all this will start. Well, maybe it's so hard to put into words. Maybe they'll play better. But I don't know. Tannehill, he likes to spread the ball out. So let's look at the tight ends, because I actually really I like the tight end group here is pretty solid with Berkser and Jonnu Smith. Pruitt's more of a blocking tight end, but those two are very, very solid. The offensive line, really good. One of the best. I think it's among one of the better offensive lines in all of football. Nate Davis, I expect him to be much better. He played exceptionally well in the playoffs. So, and I assumed he would have been a project coming out anyway. So I like it. If anything, he really started to show promise earlier than I anticipated. I expected him to struggle. They really should have started him right off the bat, but it's nice to see that he did get a lot of momentum going into the end of this end of the postseason. And then Dennis Kelly is going to be the right tackle there instead of Jack Conklin. I don't think it's that much of a step down. Kelly's actually very, very solid. He's very underrated, because he's done well in relief, because Conklin, he's had all kinds of injury issues over his career. Hold on, I had something on my mouse. But just take a quick look, because I mean he's a phenomenal pass protector. And here, just want to take a gander at my notes real quick. There we go. I mean, he's always been a phenomenal pass protector. So I mean, it's not going to be a huge, I think, step down. I mean, he only allowed 2 sacks and 10 pressures last year on about 300 snaps. And really, that was actually pretty high for him. Like the year before, he had almost 400 snaps, only allowed 4 pressures, 1 sack. So I think the offensive line status quo, man. You know what I'm saying? On top of that, Isaiah Wilson, yes, I thought it was a bit of a reach as well. I know you did too. But he kind of fits well into this. I know they're going to try to incorporate much more. They did a pretty good job at it last year when Tannehill came in, but more play action into this, which really benefits him. I don't know if they really want. They could maybe play him at guard, but I mean, I think Nate Davis, Roger Saffold, they're fine. I don't think Wilson would be an upgrade over those guys. So maybe the heir apparent there at right tackle. And you got Ben Jones. He's pretty solid. Derrick Henry, I like. Grant, I think they picked Darrington Evans a little early for my taste. But he does provide some good athleticism, some good quickness. So good. It's a good balance. You're seeing something different when he's in the backfield opposed to Derrick Henry, which is really nice. So Tannehill, what will he do with this? Will he put it all together? Is he a good quarterback now? I mean, I think he's a solid quarterback. But I mean, he played so well last year. You got to expect regression, right? I mean, I'm a Dolphins fan. I've lived with this. I lived with Tannehill. I know what it's like. So I don't know, man. He's playing with a better supporting cast than really what the Dolphins have ever had. So maybe there won't be much regression. But if anything, he'll be a good game manager there. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. The defense. It really sucks losing Casey, but I mean, I guess it is what it is. They did bring in some other guys, hoping maybe to replace that. I mean, the year before they brought in Jeffrey Simmons, who played extremely well last year. He's a banger. They brought in the Tier Tart out of Florida International as an undrafted free agent, and I thought secretly he may have been able to like sneak his way into day 3, but he ended up being an undrafted free agent. Larry Murchison, that's real solid. This guy's got a lot of flexibility for a guy his size. But Jones, he's been one of the better nose tackles in all of the league. You got Jack Crawford, who's an average veteran. So I'm not too worried about the defensive line there. I don't think it'll be. Yes, it sucks Casey's gone, but it's not going to be too much of a step back. Not too much regression there. Harold Landry. Will Vic Beasley be the pass rusher they need to really, really complement Harold Landry? Because Harold Landry, it's not like he just produces pressures. Guy had like 66 pressures. That's nowhere near the top of the league. I mean, if you're one of the top pass rushers in this league, you're going to be in that 75 to 80, 90 range. So he wasn't really close when it came to that. So I don't know if Vic Beasley will really help. He was kind of used in a weird role there at Atlanta. So I don't know if Vrabel's bringing him in to kind of use him like a Jamie Collins. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's a 1-year deal, so it's a prove-it deal, but they don't have much depth behind those guys. And then on the interior, Jaron Brown, one of the most underappreciated linebackers. He's one of the better coverage linebackers in all of the league. And I mean, honestly, he might be their best linebacker. Yeah, they got Rashaan Evans. There's some things I don't like about Rashaan Evans. He's not, at least last year, he wasn't good in coverage. He had 18 missed tackles. So I don't know. I expect a little bit more, so maybe you'll have a better year next year. But I mean, that's great that they got Brown there, who, like I said, top notch. So yes, questions about that second level there, but I'm not too worried. Yes, it can be improved upon, but they still got. Don't get me wrong, Harold Landry, he is still a quality pass rusher. And Jaylen Brown's pretty good in coverage. So let's just go to the secondary. This is what I really wanted to talk about because they made the interesting addition of Jonathan Joseph, don't worry, he's just a death piece at best. He might be the fourth corner on that roster, in my opinion. Adoree Jackson is just a monster. He was probably the best defensive player on the squad last season. I mean, he's right up there with Kevin Byard. Both are really, really good. They do bring in Christian Fulton. Will Christian Fulton be started in front of Malcolm Butler? If it was me, I would. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to let Butler ride out this year. I mean, he may get banged up or he may play bad, then Fulton will come in. But this is a very good system for Fulton. I don't know why I keep saying Fulton. But losing Logan Ryan, one of the better slot corners in all the league. Sounds like they're going to give Amani Hooker majority of the snaps there in the slot, that they're going to expect him to come in and step up, which is great. I loved Hooker. He actually played pretty decently last season. He had some ups and downs, but he was moved all around in that secondary. I think if you focus him in on the slot, it'll be A-okay. Vinny Vaccaro, he's all right. He's a box guy. So the defense, I think the defense it'll be about the same as it was last year. Yeah, the KC thing sucks, but I don't think that'll take away too much. This team's going to be, and you got to believe it, they're going to just try to control the ball. They're going to try to win the game of possession. So we'll see. Let's take a look at the schedule, at the Sketty. They start out with Denver, so it looks like they're going to be having the NFC North, which you can be like, oh, that ain't bad. We get like the Lions and the Bears. You shouldn't sleep on those teams. They're not entirely bad teams. If anything, they're not too far away from you, Tennessee Titans, in my opinion. I still think, yes, they're winnable games. But then the Vikings, Packers, those are tough games. But they will be also facing the AFC North. That's a much tougher division. Baltimore, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati's looking better. So a lot of tough games on the schedule. On top of Indianapolis looks better. Yes, Houston had a terrible off season, but their offense still looks like it's going to be fine. Jacksonville, Minshew Mania, baby. Those are probably wins. But man, I look at the schedule. It just looks tough to me. Starting out with Denver, honestly, they could probably win that. Denver, it's a very, very young team. They could honestly start out. It's not like it's too tough. Like Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, and Houston, those are all tough games. All winnable, though. All winnable. I think this team can have a high ceiling. But and yes, they really weren't no more than like a 9-7 team, right? With Marcus Mariota. Are they, like, at best, are they really that much better with Tannehill at the helm? I think so. But again, it's a tough schedule. Let's just go ahead. Let's take a look at the starters, and then we'll get into how I think they will do this year. So, taking a look at the starters on offense, of course, Tannehill, Henry, Brown, Davis, Humphreys. It's literally the same starting roster from last year. You got Jonnu Smith there at tight end. You got the offensive line is literally the same. I don't think Isaiah Wilson, there we go, will really play a pivotal role at all this year. I don't expect him to see a lot of time at all. And then taking a gander at the defense, you got Simmons, you got Jones there at nose. Like I said, he's one of the better nose tackles in the league. They're paying Vic Beasley like $10 million, so best believe he's going to be on the field almost every down with Landry, Evans, Brown, and then I got Jackson and Butler starting. I think Fulton, they'll wait. I think they're going to wait for Butler to struggle. That's just my hunch, though. I don't think he's going to see immediate playing time, though. Then Hooker in the slot, you got Byard and Vaccaro there at safety. So you bring back, for the most part, very similar looking Defense, yes, you're missing Casey, who's a superstar, but I think they'll be fine. So how do I think this team will do? Honestly, it's going to be a fight for the AFC South, in my opinion. The Colts are a better team, and you shouldn't sleep on Houston. You just shouldn't. With that said, I still think they'll edge this division out. But with the schedule, which I think is a lot harder than maybe other people think it is, I think they will be 9-7. Like I said, honestly, I think their floor is an 8-8 team. Their floor is about an 8-8 team, and they could be a 10-win team. So I'm kind of going in the middle there with 9-7. I think that's a very safe prediction, a safe estimate. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. And that's it for the video. Go ahead, do the YouTube thing. But until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.